Hellions, if you're not aware of, or if you don't take care, they will just move in, kill a lot of drones. So, yeah, I hope Mafia knows Lucifron style a bit, and we'll try to defend that.
One would assume he would have had to maybe actually checked out the recent games that we just saw from Lucifron against our previous Zergs. But guys, we are now in the game. Let's jump right on in with a Lucifron. Going to be spawning down in at the bottom left-hand corner here as our red Terran. And spawning up to the top right. Apparently our observer's AFK. But he'll appear in a second.
Oh, he's not.
Oh, no, no, it was my screen. What am I doing? And we do have Mafia going to be spawning up to the top right-hand corner here as our blue Zerg.
You better start to sing.
No, 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 no. It's never going to happen.
Lucifron? No, what was it?
I can't remember, man. Mafia. These guys, man. These guys. It's turning out, I mean, this has the potential to be the best series of the day thus far. Both of these players, extremely, extremely potent. And, I mean, a map like Cloud Kingdom, and where is he going?
No, just...
Uh-oh. Well...
No, actually, yeah, you're right. It's going to be 11-11. Yeah. Oh. He's going to place them at his third. So a fairly long walk for the Marines to the natural of Mafia. But Mafia will... Actually, he will scout that. His Overlord is on the perfect pathing here. Because the first Overlord didn't go to the natural. It went to the third instead. To fly behind the main base. And it's going to be... scouting the barracks, I believe.
Yeah, we'll be able to spot those quite quickly. So now Lucifron will be known. I mean, there's the potential that he could actually move the Overlord in a different direction. He'll spot the barracks, and he has the option to not allow him to know that it's been spotted, and then he could pull back. But, I mean, technically speaking, it doesn't really matter at this point. Anyway, one of the barracks is already finished, so it's not likely that he could cancel that, because obviously you just can't. So right now, we're going to see this pressure come from Lucifron here. Has been spotted, and... Ah, interesting.
So Mafia went for 15 hedge, gas, and then pool. So his pool is pretty late. And yeah, he's cancelling the gas right now. I don't know. Yeah, he couldn't use it anyways. So he has one more drone instead of having the gas, which makes sense against a Rexing player. And the Overlord...
Oh, using the SCV for the high ground vision. If this Overlord dies this early on, that's pretty darn big.
Yeah, it will survive. Very close, 16 HP left. And now the Marines cannot chase the Overlord anymore. And it actually costed Lucifron a bit of time because he was chasing the Overlord, so he couldn't run to the natural right away. He's trying to get a bunker down here, but the SCV's already lost some HP. Not too many drones being pulled, though. I'm
maybe a
little bit concerned there. He should have pulled a few more, I guess. But it looks like everything is okay for Mafia. Killing the SCV here. The other SCV only has 5 HP left, so...
I think the delay on the Marines actually getting over there may have made Mafia just be a little bit more underwhelming with his defense, but the bunker's still in production here. It's going to get up and running, and these Marines, there's a lot out. He's now bringing all the drones, but it might just be too late. The Marines are going to get in here, and he could do quite a bit of damage.
That's just a big mistake by Mafia, that he didn't pull the drones before, and Lucifron does such a good job. Look at this. He's focusing the drones all the time. He killed like...
7 workers.
Yeah, 7 workers already. So it's 11 drones against 13 SCVs. And this is looking pretty good for Lucifron. He did a lot of damage already. He continues to make SCVs and Marines all the time, while the Zerg right now only can make Zerglings.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit dicey. He has to continue to hold this properly, and the Zerglings are now on the way. But that's still a lot of Marines that he needs to deal with. Thankfully, the Zerglings and the Queens will clean this up and force it back. But still, having lost those workers this early on, he needs to replenish this pretty quickly. It's 15 workers still to the 13, along with the mules present. So Lucifron has eked himself out a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, and he didn't even lose his Marines. He still has 6 Marines on the field, 2 more to join the force here. Very good control once again, pulling back the injured Marines here. And there are only 2 Queens right now to really defend this stuff. And, well, I don't know, 8 Zerglings on the way, but he has to make drones as well, which is very dangerous. SCV is being pulled here.
I think one of the small things that's actually going on here is that Mafia's actually got a lot of his drones at the natural, which in essence is something saying that he has the reassurance of if things get way out of hand and he suddenly gets hit by a ton of Marines or something like that, he has an extra buffer that he could potentially pull to try and deal with that, especially if all these SCVs come along now. He could actually end up using those to his effect, as opposed to having them in the main where they're way too far away for him to do something like that.
Okay, so yeah, he does have 2 transfuses on the queens, but there is no spine crawler. Pretty good focus fire here by Mafia, attacking the marines with the queens, pulling his drones, as you said before. All the drones were at the natural, so he could pull them, and he will be able to defend this attack. And how many SCVs did he pull? He's down to 14 SCVs right now.
Huh.
So
that was a nice cleanup there by Mafia in essence.
that was a pretty good job.
I mean,
focusing the marines with the queens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his double hatchery now, so he can kind of get things going and everything like that, but we already have a 3rd command center now on the way for Lucifron, so I'm under the impression that Lucifron's still going to put on some pressure, and regardless of that, it will eventually stabilize, right? They'll eventually get to this point where if just a little bit of damage done is from Lucifron's side here, then both players will kind of even out and we'll go into some kind of longer mid-game at this point.
This was really, really risky from Lucifron. Moving in with his marines once again. He has no clue if there are like 20 Zerglings waiting for him. So, like, the stuff he does is really risky right now. Luckily for him, there are only 2 queens, a 3rd one and a 4th one about to pop in the main base. And the creep spread Mafia did during this attack was pretty good. Like, he already has creep spread at his natural in his main base and going to the 3rd base as well. I really like that. So he didn't forget about his creep spread, which gonna be very, very helpful against the upcoming Hellions.
Yeah, indeed, Lucifron is well known for that. I mean, sometimes on Cloud Kingdom he can go into that very, very heavy bio style, but it's not too bad a map for mech either. And so ultimately, we could see Lucifron just quite easily transfer into that. And for now, he's just powering across the map with a few more Marines, looking to try and exploit his position of his opponent's 3rd, which could actually be quite exploitable now, though, considering the position of it. And there's just no units out for Mafia. He's actually going to be forced to cancel. Yeah,
he has 4 queens, but the queen's going to be too slow to help this 3rd base, so he has to cancel it right now, I think. Yeah, good cancel. He lost the drone. Will annoy him a bit. It's not the biggest deal here. And Lucifron went for 3 CCs behind this, 2 CCs, so he's gonna get the factory walling off with barracks. So
yeah, it almost certainly will be. The timing on those like 2 gases at the main, the natural, even just having that much gas this early on for Terran, it's almost. I mean,
he's gonna go for eBay. That's what you wanted to say, right?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, so canceling the 3rd once again.
Normally I'm good over that, but apparently not this time.
Yeah, the Marines are so active, and even though it's risky for Lucifron, I think he knows that he killed a lot of drones early on, so the Zerg will not make Zerglings most of the time, unless it's, I don't know, maybe Nesty.
Yeah, meanwhile, turn 1-1 on the way here. Speed going down, as well as 22 Zerglings actually here for Mafia. So he might look to put on a little bit of pressure. I don't think he really got any Baneling Nest or anything like that, so can't necessarily bust this wall that we currently have for him, but you could actually start nibbling away at tech labs and things and delay any kind of stim timing, but I think still he's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think that's what is he planning here right now. His Overlord spots everything, so he knows that there's a wall off, and he also sees the tech lab being outside of the wall, so if he gets a decent amount of Zerglings, he might be able to kill that. Still, it's gonna be pretty tough with the Marines like behind the barracks.
There's the Baneling Nest as well.
But 10 more drones.
Yeah, he's going for layer, so.
Yeah.
I mean, these Zerglings are just great to buffer anyway, right? At the 3rd location, if your opponent's still dancing around on the map with a load of Marines, then he can quite easily, you know, fend that off with any kind of Zergling numbers. So, and fully enough, I mean, looking at the creep spread of Mafia right now is absolutely insane. Considering what actually happened at the very beginning of this game, he's just got this flying.
Yeah, I agree. And that's so important for the Zerg. You always have to be aware of your creep spread, and you always have to push it further and further. And we did see that during the MLG, I think, where Scarlet played against Bomber, and Scarlet forced Bomber to play somewhat of in 3 base all in every game because creep spread was denying the 4th base. And Mafia is going the same route, so if his 2 mores, like if he spreads them like 2 or 3 more times, he's gonna be able to deny the 4th base of Lucifron for a really long time. Lucifron is moving out with the first 2 medevacs, +1 on the way. Actually, both upgrades and Stimpack gonna line up.
Yeah, nice scan, killing off quite a lot of these creep tumors if he so desires, along with those Banelings now on the way, centrifugal hooks, and the infestation pit going down from Mafia. So he's really looking to synergize this composition very, very nicely. Get the wraps around with Zerglings, get that fungal down, and then blow them up with Banelings from there on, with the 2-2 upgrades now on the way as well. We have the armory being added on for Lucifron just to get those 2-2 going when he wants as well.
Well, Lucifron is so aggressive with only a few Marines here, killing so many creep tumors. This was the 3rd scan, I believe. Yeah, He dropped 3 scans to kill the 2 Moors. And going for the 4th base right now, using Stimpack, but Marines, Banelings and Zerglings already waiting for him. Gonna get a good surround on the Marines, but nice pickup there by Lucifron, not losing too much.
Still lost quite a bit, but yeah, it was indeed. He had to pick up where he could. And so for now we have the Burrow on the way, as well as that Pathogen Glands. Few missile turrets on the way here for Lucifron. He's not 100% sure as what his opponent's doing, but it's great to deny any kind of infestor burrow annoyances and things like that.
It's not about Mutalisk. Like this missile turrets is definitely only to avoid the infestor harassment when they have burrow. Lucifron is moving out with a fairly small army. 4 infestors are on the way, but they're not quite finished yet. And he might be able to kill this hatchery here.
Yeah, there's a lot of Banelings morphing in, trying to get this defense going as quickly as possible. The hatchery will fall regardless. Lucifron knows he's overstayed his welcome. Will have to fall back as those Broodlings nibble away. But the Zerglings and the Banelings aren't going to have it. They're apparently looking for the pursuit here, as he could get a pretty good surround, but no. Decides to head back and recuperate his losses.
Yeah, 2-2 on the way for both players. Mafia just started his hive here. And perfect scan by Lucifron, wow. He started his hive and Lucifron scanned right away, so he knows the timing of the hive. There is no Spire yet, so I guess it's going to be for Ultralisks, but maybe he's going to start the Spires soon. See, more Zerglings and Infestors on the way, and as I said, 2-2 is about to finish for Mafia.
Yeah, it does look like the Ultralist transition. Again, it's just even extra synergy to add to the Infestors, the Banelings, the little Lings, everything like that. Sometimes, your Ultralists can get in a position where they're kind of bunkered up against Zerglings and they're not really getting where they want to, but if you can lock people down with fungal growth, hey, any Kaiser Blades cleaving that kind of stuff up is going to be absolutely fantastic for Mafia here. And he's doing a good job against Lucifron. He's around, 15 supply up. Lucifron is grabbing his 4th base, but we have Mafia trying to grab a 4th and 5th. And with all of this, he has a strong army. If he adds on, he can roll over.
Yeah, I think if he pushes now, he has a really good... there's a drop in the natural, by the way.
Yeah.
Spores did kill the Medivac, but he's not pulling his drones. He's losing so many drones here. Because in the middle, he tried to kill a few Marines there. That was so good by Lucifron. Killing a lot of drones at the natural, picking up the Marines. But still, Mafia has a small timing window. Okay, never mind. 2-2 just finished for Lucifron. Pushing in right now, going to be really dangerous.
Yeah, could indeed. There's a few siege tanks on the high ground here, as well as the infested Terrans are on the way to try and deal with this. And there's tons of just Zerglings everywhere as they try and hunt down as many of these Marines as they can do. But again, he actually did he got a pretty good engagement there. Tons of infested Terrans left over. They could start focusing down that command center. And indeed they will do. He needs to lift that and get it away very, very quickly. But still Zerglings ripping apart a few of the units at the natural here. A bit of a drop going down from the north here for Lucifron. Trying to put the pressure on at the fall.
Yeah, the orbital command died and the other one has to lift away, and it only is down to 160 HP, so it might burn till its death here. And Mafia did a really, really good job with this attack. I'm surprised how well it actually went. He's losing his hatch, his 5th hatch, but wow. 3-3 on the way.
The income's insanity. Mafia right now has a massive, massive income in comparison to Lucifron. Lucifron down to about 1,200, whilst we have Mafia at 2,100. So he's doing a pretty darn good job of stabilizing in terms of economy. He's getting adrenal glands, he's getting 3-3, he's getting a ton of Zerglings out, he's getting that Ultralist Tavern eventually, he's cleaning up these drops with fungals. So Lucifron right now is really on the ropes here against Mafia, and in a very, very strong game, number 1 for him.
Also killed the Medivac here. The Mule actually saved the command center on the right side of the map, so he did repair that with a Mule. But yeah, Mafia's getting 3-3, he's getting the upgrades for the Zerglings, and Lucifron has to siege up here, but Mafia's coming from 2 sides. Okay, he's gonna retreat for a second. Doesn't really want to push into the tanks when they are sieged.
Yeah, and units lost tab here right now is, this is not normally how you see the units lost tab. Terran right now losing more than a Zerg, where the Zerg has just generally mined more across the entirety of the game. So Lucifron right now still very, very up against the ropes. He has the 9 tanks along with the 26 siege tanks, but against 111 Zerglings here and those 8 infestors, that is a monumental mountain to climb here for Lucifron.
I'm just thinking of, I think Mafia hit a timing where Lucifron only had 2 siege tanks. Like during this engagement, Lucifron was adding 2 more factories, but at this like exactly this point, he only had 2 or 3 siege tanks. And obviously, if you don't have more, then Zergling, Baneling, Infestor are going to be super effective. So that was probably like the best timing he could ever hit, even though Lucifron finished 2-2 right before. But it was 2-2 against 2-2 and only a few siege tanks.
Yeah, and from here on out, Lucifron, I guess his plan is to just turtle hard until he can somehow max out. Yeah. But whilst he's doing all of that, Mafia's not going to give him any room whatsoever. He's getting his Ultralisks out. As soon as they traverse across the map, join up with these Banelings now morphing in, as well as these Infestors and Zerglings, he can push and go for very, very decent trades because he's maxed out. He's gaining a little bit of a bank. He will start accruing in a second. And Lucifron, I mean, he's trying to draw him back somehow, maybe with some drops, but I don't know how well it's going to work out.
Yeah, and I love this move by Lucifron, having one medivac in front of his army to spot the Zerg army because he knows there is no anti-air.
Yeah.
Dropping on the left side here is gonna kill the spine crawlers. It's only 2 marauders, I think, and 1 marine or 2 marines. Not too much though. So.
But it bought him a little time.
Yeah.
It bought him a little time to get extra tanks out. And if Mafia now wants to push into that 3rd location, it's going to be extremely heavily fortified. So that gives him, you know, just like 1 or 2 extra siege tanks, a few more marines. But that's still a really scary Zerg army here.
Yeah, those 5 marines going to get picked up, flying home. Actually, he's setting up another drop with those. And yeah, Mafia is doing a good job at defending the drops on the left side here. And he also got the Spire. He's making 6 Corruptors now. And I'm pretty sure he's going to upgrade the Spire to a Greater Spire pretty quickly. Just in case if all the Ultralisk dies, he can start to make Broodlords. And yeah, he starts to get a quite big bank as well.
Yeah.
Like 2k minerals soon with 1.5k gas. Pretty decent, and he will of course get more and more bank.
Still a little bit of aggression going on at the 4th, and I'm pretty darn sure that that drop down to the bottom right hand corner was spotted by that burrowed Zergling. I think it's still hanging out there actually. So but for now he is going to push into the 3rd base here, as for now that's a massive amount of wall in the form of those Ultralisks. Nice fungals will lock down a lot of those marines here. I don't think he can actually dig through that entire wall of Ultralisks. The Kaiser Blaze just cleaving up so much.
Yeah, and like he controlled his wow, GG, well played. Wow. I just want to say he controlled his infestors pretty well because they were all clumped up, but he didn't like just run in. He made 1 fungal and then he retreated with them. Oftentimes you will see the infestors just running in and die to siege tank fire. But yeah, Mafia showing really strong ZVT here.